Hello. Nah. Hello, everyone. So, as you may or may not notice, there are a few contemporary issues that I have been noticeably silent about. But in this video, I'm going to briefly talk about one of them: the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. I am critical of Vice President Duterte. You'd know that much if you constantly watch my stories on Facebook and Instagram. And that is because I believe she wasn't the best person for the position, and I don't think she should have been elected. And yet, here we are. Anyway, here's a summary of what led up to her being impeached. Back in December last year, 4 separate impeachment complaints were filed alleging abuse of power, misuse of confidential funds, which, as you may remember, gave us the name Mary Grace Piatos, involvement in extrajudicial killings, and plotting to assassinate the President, the First Lady, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, when she said, and I quote, "Putang ina ninyong lahat, Martin Romualdez, Lisa Marcos, Bongbong Marcos." Her words, not mine. Then, on the 5th of February, the House voted 215 to 0, well above the 102-member threshold, to impeach Duterte, approving the articles of impeachment. Then, the Senate simply stalled the utter living hell out of this trial, which is unconstitutional, by the way, dragging this out to the next Congress, a Congress that has re-elected the same people who chose to delay this trial for months. And then, on the 10th of June, the Senate, acting as an impeachment court, voted 18 to 5 to remand the articles back to the House, citing constitutional or procedural defects, which... what? However, on the 11th of June, the House certified the articles as proper and in compliance with constitutional requirements, but only after Senate queries regarding jurisdiction and procedure were clarified. And then on the 8th of July, the Supreme Court issued a resolution requiring both the House and the Senate to submit verified, sworn proofs on the handling of the impeachment complaints, especially emphasizing whether due process was followed in filing and transmitting them. Now, I, like a lot of people, want her convicted and removed from her position as Vice President. But that wouldn't be easy. A 2/3 majority vote, or 16 of the 24 senators, is required to convict Duterte, and conviction also results in permanent disqualification from public office. However, Duterte remains in office unless removed. And because of the incredibly high stakes of this trial, the Senate remains deeply polarized. Figures like Senator Coco Pimentel, Risa Hontiveros, Nancy Binay, Grace Poe, and Sherwin Gatchalian oppose the remand motion. Pro-Duterte voices criticized the process and expressed concern over economic impacts and alleged a politically motivated witch hunt. I know, very, very ridiculous. House prosecutors, including Laila de Lima, stressed impartiality amid partisan remarks. Meanwhile, economic and political analysts caution that prolonged proceedings could hurt for foreign direct investment. Now, here is what's expected to happen over the next few months. First, the Supreme Court is expected to issue its ruling on process legitimacy, laying the foundation for trial proceedings. Second, the House and Senate are preparing to reconvene in late July to formally open the impeachment trial following the proposed timeline. And third, the trial will include presentation of evidence, legal arguments, witness testimonials, and culminate in a Senate vote. Now, Sara Duterte remains a frontrunner for the 2028 presidency, with strong political backing from her father's clan, and a conviction would end her political ambitions. However, and this is incredibly important, an acquittal could instead boost her standing. So this is something that everyone should pay attention to, because if no one does, the Senate could inexplicably postpone this trial indefinitely. And if that happens, that will send a message to Filipinos that these high-ranking officials can simply do whatever they want without any repercussions. And that is dangerous. So please If you can, talk about this trial to your friends and family or spread awareness about it online. And we must hold our senators accountable because we elected these people to serve us Filipinos. So they should return the favor and do their job. That is all for now. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again in the next video. Goodbye.